Okay, today we're looking at missing lengths again with Pythagoras' theorem. So let's get into it. So Pythagoras' theorem again is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. A and b must be your shorter lengths, and your c always opposite the right angle, but it also happens to be your longest side. So let's get into it. Okay, here's the model. A, B, C. I've already got one on the bottom. So what is this missing length here? Well, we can say a squared plus b squared equals c squared. I'm going to go a is 4 and b is 3. It doesn't matter which you label them up as long as they are the shortest lengths. 4 squared plus 3 squared equals c squared. 16 plus 9 equals 25. Therefore 25 equals c squared. Therefore 5 equals c, because the square root of 25 equals 5. Okay, so like I said, you can write it as this: a squared plus b squared equals c squared, or you can write it as c squared equals a squared plus b squared. They are the same, I've just swapped it. So what happens here? Well, label up c first. It's always opposite the right angled triangle. There we are, that's c. I'm gonna write it in green, that'd be nicer. Okay, 8, or I'm gonna call it a. It doesn't matter what you do. And this missing length x, I'll call it b. So, c squared equals a squared plus b squared. What do we know? We know what c squared is. It's 10. 10 squared equals, well, a is 8. So 8 squared plus b. We don't know what b squared is. Okay, what can we do here? Well, let's look at this formula now and rearrange it. So we can do it as c squared minus a squared equals b squared. Right, that's a bit easier to work with. So there we are. 10 squared minus 8 squared, because I'm just getting my numbers from here, equals b squared. 100, take away 64, equals b squared. 36 equals b squared. Find the square root of both sides. Lovely. 6 equals b. Our missing length is 6. And there we are. If I write my 6 in here, actually I'll write a wee arrow. That is 6. There we are. That's how we work it out. Okay, here's a written model. Pause and read it. That's all we're going to do. Okay, let's move on. Here's 2 more examples. Okay, missing length. Well, what is your C? What is C? Opposite the right angle. That's your C. Okay. A and B, it doesn't matter what you do as long as they're the shorter lengths. Okay, right, this is our C here. Interesting. I'll call that A, I'll call that B. So we're using the same formula, we're just tweaking it. This one's going to be a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And this one here is going to be c squared minus a squared equals b squared. Right, let's get into it. Let's fill the gaps. Right, this one here. Well, a is 5. So 5 squared plus 12 squared equals c squared. 25 plus 144 equals c squared. 169 equals c squared. Therefore, square root both sides. 13 equals c. There we are. That is our missing length. Here, c is 12 and a is 5. Similar numbers, but slightly different problem. 12 squared minus 5 squared equals b squared. 144 minus 25 equals b squared. You're going to want to calculate for this one. You're not going to get a Pythagoras triple. What that means is, when you have a Pythagoras triple, they all are nice whole numbers. Equals b squared. Well, the square root of 119 equals b. And there we are. The answer is, the 2 decimal places, 10.91 centimeters equals b. So there we are. We'll fill that in. 10.91. That's our answer. And there we go. We've got some practice questions. 9 questions. Get them done. In my class, you're going to add all these answers onto a Google form once you're done. So get these done on paper or a Google Doc, and we'll go from there. Lovely.